Hi, everyone. It's Kelly from the Hub. I'm here today with Lauren, our friend from Compass Mark. Lauren, how are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing today?
I am doing very well as well. So Lauren is here from Compass Mark. Said that already. She is the one who tells us all the cool things, bullying and stress management and all those things that are good no matter what age you are. So don't think that because you're an adult, a grandma, or a kid who's in second grade. All of this stuff is important no matter what age you are. Today we're talking about peer pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So when I think of peer pressure, Lauren, I always think of someone going, hey, I got cigarettes in the back. You want to smoke them? And then you say, no, I don't smoke cigarettes. And then someone goes, come on, all the cool kids are smoking cigarettes.
Yep, that's what we know of as peer pressure.
That's peer pressure. But it's not always bad, peer pressure.
No, it's not always bad, and it's not always those big, dangerous things that we think of either. So like going back to the beginning, what's peer pressure? First of all, what is a peer? P-E-E-R, I always tell kids because they get a little confused, is anyone who's around the same age as you or in the kind of like same situation. So like the kids in your school with you are your peers, the people in your office place are your peers, but even more so if there are people in your office space who are your age or around your age, then they're even closer of a peer to you. So I tell the kids, like, I'm not your peer, your teacher's not your peer, your parents aren't your peers, that kind of thing. When your teacher tells you to do your homework, she's not peer pressuring you. But
Right. That's
yes.
right. That's important to know that definition because then things get complicated if you don't use it right. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So peer pressure is anyone trying to get you to do something that you don't want to do. Like that's just the basic definition. So yeah, when we use it in schools, we tend to warn kids about things that they might get pressured to do later in life, like drugs or alcohol or cigarettes, like you're saying. Even things like vandalizing property or pulling pranks on people, skipping school. It could be as simple as cheating on a test or letting someone use your homework or breaking something of somebody else's, stealing a muffin from the lunch line, whatever it might be. If it's something that you don't want to do and someone is trying to get you to do it and they don't listen to you when you say no, then that's peer pressure.
Hmm. And I'm thinking of the adult stuff where it's like, come on, have another drink, or
Oh,
come on,
yeah, it's just a drink.
don't do
Everybody
that.
drinks.
Right. Or come on, no one really does their reports.
Yeah,
Or come
yeah.
on, I know we have a meeting. No one really goes to those meetings. Let's go play golf or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
right, and that it seems like, we all got old at some point, and so it seems like those things from high school or middle school or whatever would have gone. But the answer is they don't.
they
Those
don't.
things, right? So the exact same things that you talk about helping kids, that's why this is for all ages, because that
Hmm.
same stuff applies when you get to be an adult.
Yeah, especially when we look at social development, social interactions. I mean, that does not stop when we become adults. In fact, like being friends with people and social interactions become challenging as adults for different reasons. And now that we have things like social media and all this kind of stuff that it keeps you engaged, but it also keeps you exposed. And being exposed opens you up to popularity in a new kind of way and pressure that's a new type of pressure that's online and it has to do with like how you present yourself and uh and
Right.
and so it can
Did you see?
definitely.
Did you see my TikTok? My
Yes.
TikTok has 10,000 likes. Look at me,
Yeah,
I'm
or
cool. Yeah,
you
right.
didn't like my page, or getting upset with someone because they didn't comment on something or anything it might be, and now I'm pressured to behave a certain way online because that's what you want it to look like from you want me, you want you yourself to look like.
Right.
So this kind of pressure can come in all kinds of avenues. But it is important to know it's not always these dangerous things. It definitely can be. So the skills are universal and they work for those dangerous situations also. But it's not always drugs and alcohol, which is
Yeah.
what we definitely think of it as.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone thinks of it as like cigarettes and like having
Yeah,
like your first beer. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, having a beer at a party or something, or having
Yeah.
cigarettes or something like that. Now, like vaping, marijuana, I mean, that stuff definitely happens.
Right.
But I mean, even like if we can get real, even like sexual encounters could
Yep.
be a peer pressure situation,
Right.
for any kind of reason.
Mhm.
So any kind of behavior, anything, even if it's something really simple that you don't want to do and someone's trying to get you to do it. So a really important like first step I tell kids is like has to do with how you behave. So we talk about refusing peer pressure. It's not as simple as just saying no all the time. And like you would hope that that would work. You would
Right,
hope
like,
that I can say no and you'll respect me,
right,
but they don't.
because you were talking about like stealing a muffin, and I can totally see that, right? You're going through the line, and like your pal goes, "Dude, take the muffin," and you're like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah,
And then you're like,
it should end there.
"Right."
It should end there, but it
The
doesn't.
answer is it doesn't.
Yeah,
Right,
sometimes it doesn't.
right.
So and I tell students and adults, you know, your friends and your peers, well, especially your friends, are people who are supposed to respect you. They like you, right? So they're in your life because they benefited your life in some kind of way and you want them around. Well, if someone tries to get you to do something that you've decided you don't want to do, they're not respecting you. They don't respect who you are as a person and the choices you've made, whether it's because you never want to smoke cigarettes or you never want to skip school or you know never want to cheat on a test, whatever it might be. If they try to get you to do it, then they're not respecting who you are as a person.
Yeah.
So I would take a second look at that friendship if that were to happen with a friend, you know. But so the first step is that you have to appear confident. So when we talk about communication, I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase the term like being an assertive communicator. Assertive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you're assertive, there's also passive and aggressive are the other two like ends of the line there. But passive is when we tend to be more shy and more hesitant. We don't really like confrontation, so we keep our eyes down and we whisper. Aggressive would be yelling and fighting back and being really you know, forceful. But assertive is where you can find that sweet spot where you respect yourself, but you respect the other people around you too. So you can stand up for yourself and say, no, I don't want to do that in a confident way without being aggressive and without being passive. Especially passive, if you respond to someone with, you know, more of like a, no, I don't think I want to do that, and you're kind of hesitant about it, they're going to try again. You're
'Cause
basically telling them
you
that
left
they
the
can
door
try again.
open. Yes.
Exactly. You left the door open. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, you left the door open.
Yeah.
If you respond aggressively, they're not going to take you seriously.
Right, because
Like,
like seriously, you just went to that over a muffin?
so
Right.
you clearly care. Yeah, so you care. So I'm going to try again. Yeah. Are you sure you don't want to take that muffin? Like, they're so mad, I might be able to convince them to do it.
Huh.
So when you can act, it's the same with bullying, right? When you can act cool, confident, calm, like it doesn't bother you, that's when people will listen to you because they weren't able to affect your emotions. So being able to stay very assertive and just very clear and confident about what you're saying is the best way to approach any kind of strategy to refuse peer pressure.
Awesome.
Cool. So I have some strategies.
I love that you've got strategies. And so we talked before, there's 9 strategies.
There's 9, yeah. 9
Who
different
knew there
strategies.
would be so many strategies?
Because sometimes saying no doesn't work.
Right.
You know,
So you
and
got to
you
keep,
need,
I mean, you should keep 3 or 4 of them in your pocket. And so
yeah.
then you can be like, oh, no, did
Yeah.
not work. Now what do I do? Lauren taught me 9. So here we go.
Exactly. You can
Start
kind
'em
of
up.
figure out, you know, like what works with certain people or what works in certain situations for you or what just works for you better.
Because no one's going to remember 9. But if you keep 4 in your head,
Yeah,
then you got options.
exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Lay it on
So
us.
the first one is kind of it's not even related to peer pressure, but it's called steer clear. It's called steering clear of the situation. And this is when you don't even put yourself in these kind of situations. So if you know, for example, that there's a party Friday night and there might be kids there drinking or smoking or doing something else inappropriate, don't go. If you're worried about your friends trying to get you to do something, don't go,
Then
right?
you
Like
don't have to
that's
worry about it. Yeah.
if you know that kids tend to be violent in a certain area of the playground, there's always fights going on and you might get pressured to join in or something, don't go near that area. Like just don't even let it happen.
So in the adult world, if you know that everybody goes drinking on Thursday night after work, then stay a little later and do some work, or be like, hey, I'll catch up with you.
Yeah, steer
Those
clear of it. If you
easy
know, like,
kinds of things, right? Just
yeah,
don't even like attend the event, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay.
Exactly.
I like
Like
that.
adults like to, gossip about each other. If you know that that's going to happen, don't go to lunch with those people. Don't don't put
Right.
yourself in that situation. If you
Right.
can avoid it, do it.
Right.
All right. So the next one would be obviously to say no. That would be our like first real strategy would be to say no. And like I said, you need to do it confidently. So no, I don't smoke. No, I don't want to skip school. Saying something very, very clear, very confident. The next one would be to ignore. And this does work just like with bullies. They hate being ignored because it means that they are not having an effect on you. So someone's trying to get you to drink something and you're at a party dancing with your friends and you just act like you don't even hear them and you just keep ignoring them, then that can work because most people won't, continue to pester you to try to get you to do this thing. So sometimes ignoring the bully, the peer pressure can work. Another one would be to walk away from the situation. So if ignoring doesn't
Mhm.
work and like they know that you heard them, they're trying to get you to do something, they're trying to get you to, fight someone or vandalize property or something, just walk away. They probably won't chase you down to try to get you to do it.
Right, because that's a lot more work for that person.
Like, what are
Yeah.
they really gaining?
Right.
Yeah, by bringing you into it. And
Right.
honestly, a lot of kids, it's because they're feeling pressured to do something.
Yeah.
So then if they can get other kids to do it, they feel better about themselves.
Right, because
So
that takes some of that pressure off of them.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. So just walk away, just get out of there. The next ones get a little more fun, a little more interesting.
Okay.
Um, broken record is an interesting one where you just repeat yourself and you just never stop telling them no. So,
Like, no,
no.
I'm not going to do this, man. No, I'm not going to do this, man. No, I'm
Yeah.
not going to do this, man.
Did you not hear me? I said I don't want to do it.
Right.
Like,
Just say it over and over again.
yeah, like
Like,
annoy
no,
them,
I'm good.
annoy them out of pressuring you. No,
Right.
I'm not going to smoke. No, I'm not going to smoke.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
that can work. And of course, these all depend on who the person is too, because they might
Oh, right.
respond differently.
Right. Like
Yeah,
you're not going to, right. Right.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of scenarios where
I
that
know.
wouldn't work. But then I thought, well, I just thought of well, it won't might work in this case. So yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Make an excuse. This is an excellent one. It works
Mhm.
for a lot of situations. I'm not condoning lying to people, but if it gets you out of a dangerous situation, oh, my mom just texted me, I've got to go. Oh, I have a really big homework assignment due. I can't go that night. Or I have to go to the bathroom. It works. They're not going to chase you into the bathroom trying to get you to drink a beer. Leave the situation,
You
So
know what? That's funny because when I was in high school, my mom always said to me, she said, "You can always throw me under the bus."
that's a great mom.
And I was like, "But mom," she goes, "I don't care if your friends think I'm mean.
Yeah.
You could," because she goes, "If you want to do it, that's your choice. I'm not," she goes, "You have to learn how to make your own choices." She said, "But if you want to throw me under the bus, you always can do that." There
Yeah.
were a couple times where I was like, "Dude, I can't." My mom said, "No, I can't. Dude, I can't." My mom. And like my friends knew my mom. But they
Hmm.
were like, "Oh, yeah, you're right."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, my mom said I can't go to that party, even though
Yeah.
really you just want to steer clear of the
Just
peer.
didn't-
Yeah.
I
So
was
it's
like,
like
"Dude, I don't even
it
know."
works. Yeah, it
That's
definitely works.
but
So making
you're
some kind
right.
of
And
excuse.
that's not lying. That's not what you would think of as lying. It's not
No. Yeah.
necessarily super truth telling, but
Yeah.
that person gave you permission to do that. So
Yeah.
yeah, and you
And
know
it
what?
helps get you out of it.
Go to the bathroom might be my favorite because yeah,
It works.
look at the time. I need
Yeah.
to go to the bathroom.
Oof. Gotta go, guys.
I like that.
Whatever it is, just some kind of
Yeah,
excuse to get yourself out of it
that's
because
perfect.
they probably won't test you on it.
Yeah.
You obviously don't want to come up with an excuse they know isn't true. Be relatively true with it. But yeah, the next one would be to state the facts. So again, this comes with being very assertive and and being very clear with this is why I don't want to smoke. I don't want cancer. I don't want bad breath. I don't want my teeth to turn yellow. Whatever it might be. Or if I skip one more class, I'm going to get expelled. Like whatever the truth is behind why you don't want to do it, then share that with them, and that can work. Okay.
I'm thinking because I'm like, that could be quite handy as well.
Hmm. Like why you don't want to do it. Just
But you're
share it.
right. You gotta pick and choose that one too.
Yeah.
But some people, if you start doing the facts with them, then they're like, nobody cares about your yellow teeth. You know what I mean? Then it becomes this whole drama filled festival. And then you go, oh, look at the time I have to go to the bathroom, right? Because,
Yeah.
right. And so that's why you got 3 or 4 of these in your
Exactly.
wheelhouse so that you can pick and choose. Lovely.
Yeah. Combine some. The next one is making a suggestion. So this is great, especially when it's your friends. And being the person, like I said, a lot of times kids behave this way because they're being pressured. So, instead of that party Friday night, let's just order some pizzas and play video games all night. Your friends, 9 times out of 10, are going to be like, that's a great idea. I would rather do that too.
Yeah, you're like sweetening the deal.
Yeah. Like, we can still hang out, but guys, like, let's just not do that. We don't need to go do that. Let's go do this instead.
Right, and you're being really honest about it rather than being shady. Because if you're being shady about it, your friends are going to see right through that. But
True.
if you're like, well, even though that party would be fun, no, that does never start with that part of it. You're like, dudes, there's this great video that just came out, but you have to have that's one of those you got to be quick on your feet for that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you're right. If you're good at that part of if you've got those verbal skills, that's a perfect one because you're going to just make something better than what they were even thinking about.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, like, whatever it might be, if they're like, don't give too many examples, but whatever it might be that someone's trying to do, just you offering something different might be like a saving grace to them. Like you're what they wanted, wanted someone to say. They wanted someone to free them from what they didn't want to do, and you're the one who came up with it. So
right, because that's that
can
moment
work.
where you had no idea that they also didn't want to, and so whitewater
Exactly.
rafting is much more exciting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so the last one is definitely my favorite. This is called reverse the pressure. And this doesn't, although it sounds like it, this doesn't mean that we're now pressuring the person.
Oh,
What
because
this means,
that's what I thought. I was like,
you do it. No.
I'm like, well, you go
No.
smoke, you go drink. Yeah, okay.
Not that. Instead, it's like reminding, okay, so you're someone in my life who should respect my choices. So instead, you kind of turn it on them and saying, if you were really my friend, you wouldn't be pressuring me to do this. If you actually cared about me, you wouldn't try to get me to smoke. If you cared about my future, you wouldn't try to get me to skip school. Kind of turning the tables back on them to realize that what they're suggesting you do has an impact on your life. And it's not just, in this moment, they feel like they want to go to this party, so they should try to get you to go. It could actually have an impact on your life. So kind of turning it back on them, putting the heat on them a little bit, making them feel a little bad about it can help end that pressure.
I like that one. You have to be cautious in how you do it. And you got to know for me, in my universe, I would only use that would be a select one. You got only like your super besties.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some people would be like, well, screw you. I don't really care. You know what I mean?
They have to care about you.
Right. They're like,
well, someone who cares.
Right. That has to be someone who is, that you're like really tight with to do that. But that's helpful. And you're right. These are good.
Mm-hmm.
I have to tell you, truly. I mean, adults, I said it before, it doesn't change when you're an adult. And some of these I never thought of before. I mean, I've used the excuse, and we've all made up no, I have other things, whatever.
Yeah.
It's an early morning or all that.
Yeah. Even with like stuff going on with COVID. I mean, I think we're getting a little bit more like okay with things right now, but for a while there too, if someone was trying to come over and hang out or wanted you to come hang out or something and they're pressuring you into it, it's like, if you cared about me, you wouldn't want me to get sick. So, and I don't want to get you sick. So let's not do this, kind of turning it back on.
And that's one of the things that, I mean, for me, that's still where I'm at. And I think that there are people who are like, hey, green means go. And the answer is, oh, no, it doesn't. So you're right. Yeah. But, and you know what? And I think that, tying this back to COVID is also very helpful. Like, and like you could use, that's the facts one. And you could use all of those. It would be cool.
How about instead?
Right. Instead, let's Zoom for 10 hours. I think what's cool about this interview with you is that I think families could do this together. Like
Hmm.
they could listen to this together and go, oh. And then, like, and then dad could be the one to say, oh, what, do this, and or I could do that, and you never thought about this before. And this could be a really cool way for a family to figure out those things together.
Yeah, what works for them and what they're
Yeah.
comfortable with. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um, so it is also important. Oh, what were you gonna
Well, I'm
say?
just thinking, it's like, it's hard to sometimes, for people, for kids, and adults too, for heaven's sake, just think of some of those things on your own.
Yeah,
You're like, what are you
that's
going to
true.
do in this situation? I don't know. But
Yeah.
if you've got people around you, well, let's talk it out. What do you think? What do you think would work?
Hmm.
Interesting. I like this. This is very helpful.
Yeah, it's smart to kind of role play those situations with your kids and with everyone, even if they haven't happened yet. You know, what could you say to someone who's trying to get you to skip school or cheat on a test or give them your homework, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is important to note too that like not all peer pressure is bad. Sometimes peer influence, we call it, could be good
Talk
instead of
us
peer
through that. Talk
pressure.
us through that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have a friend who um, just tried out for the basketball team and they're like working really hard on it. And because you see how hard they're working, it makes you want to work harder, or a friend who gets really good grades and is like, oh, do you want to study together? And they're trying to get you to, get good grades too. Then of course that's a good peer influence. Someone who knows no matter who you are and what your qualities are, knows who you are and what you care about, and then helps you enhance that, doesn't try to hinder that by making you do something you don't want to do.
Yeah, perfect adult correlation is so several of us, I mean, maybe not me, I don't know, I've heard about this from friends of friends, may have gained a little weight over COVID because you're just hanging out. And so a good peer influence could be a pal, a neighbor, whatevs, could show
Hmm.
up and be like, girl, it's 7 o'clock, it's time for walking.
Hmm.
Rather than let's have cake, which is
Yeah.
delightful, but might not be the best thing for all of us to do right now. But
Yeah.
so that could be a good peer influence rather than peer pressure, even though cake is amazing.
That's a great example, though. I mean,
Yeah.
lots of adults, even like different workout programs, tell you to find a coach, to find a peer, a group, to someone, even like religious groups, prayer groups that are going on right now, and all kinds of stuff just to keep you held accountable and keep you connected. That's great peer influence. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. So it can be good. There's another kind of pressure, though, that also happens that's important to note, and that's called self-inflicted pressure. This is something that everybody does, but especially when we're kids and we're kind of like at that stage where our friends feel more important than the adults in our life, we care a lot about what other people think of us, whether we want to or not. It's just part of development. But self-inflicted pressure is when we behave a certain way because we think that there are expectations of us that have not even been named. So kids who think that if I wear short skirts, I'll be popular, or if I am on the football team, I'll be popular, or this cool crowd over here, they really like mohawks, so I'm going to cut my hair into a mohawk and then they'll like me. But did I have to cut my hair into a mohawk? Probably not. So these kind of behaviors that we do, even participating on social media or whatever it might be, posting selfies or whatever it might be, whatever we think it is that people expect of us, and then we do it, but no one actually told us to do it. It's just in our heads. That's self-inflicted pressure.
I got to tell you, I every adult does that. And especially I'm thinking of people who want to rise in their work environment, and their work environment's very competitive and stressful. And so they pick their sort of like work icon, man or woman,
Mm,
doesn't matter, whatever that is. And so what are you going to do? You're going to dress like them. You're going to talk like them. You're going to eat like them. You're going to drive a car like them
yeah.
and do all that stuff. Because if you look like them and they're successful, then you'll be successful if you do what they do,
Hmm.
or if you behave like they behave. And that might be so anti you.
Yeah. You have to be true to yourself. You have to really figure out, is this something that I actually want to do? Or do I feel pressure to do it because the universe is pressuring me to do it? But yeah, that's a great example in a workplace or anything like that, where you feel like you have to be just like somebody else. But what made that person special is that they were true to themselves, as you should be too.
Isn't that fascinating? Because when you're a kid, one of your parents or your godmother or whoever, pastor, whatever it is, says to you, "Hey, Jessica, what's going on?" And you talk about that stuff. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you're a kid, an adult sees right through that and wants to help you be you, not to have you just be somebody else's clone. And
Yeah.
there's always somebody who's helping you. Well, a lots of times there's somebody helping you. When you're an adult, like it's almost like you need your mom all the time.
Yeah.
Like you need your mom to be like, or whoever that person is in your life to be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, what are
Yeah.
you doing?" You know what I mean? You need someone to call you out or, love you and tell you whatever your style is to get you
Mhm.
back on track for that too. It's harder when you're adult because no one will be like, no one will give you the hey, or, less people will do that for you.
Yeah, or you're less willing to admit that that's even happening
True.
inside your head.
True.
You're like, no, I want to do this, but it's like, do you though? Do you actually?
Right.
Yeah,
And,
I
and
want to
those
wear these clothes. I want to dress like this.
and
I
those
want.
same behaviors that you did as a kid that you're doing now
Mhm.
still aren't good
Yeah,
when you're 40 years old or whatever. So you have to
very true.
find that little moderation in you.
Hmm. Yeah, and really evaluate for yourself, the choices that you're making. And
Yeah.
if they're not making you happy, I mean, first trying to detect like what your values are. And if they're not matching with your values, then maybe it's not the right choice for you. And you don't have to be like everybody else. We teach kids this all the time, but then we grow up and we're like, oh yeah, that's still a thing, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, totally having thoughts about this. We're going to be thinking about this one for a bit there, Lauren.
Good.
For a bit. This is going to be helpful. And for all of you who've been watching Lauren and I chat for the past couple of weeks, it still does say on my computer, Lauren says breathe. And for those of you who've been watching my interviews with Matt, he's got one too that says Lauren says breathe. So really, Lauren is the boss of our whole life, which is the way
Oh,
we
that's
like
great.
it. Yeah, we all
Breathe,
need a
everybody.
Lauren in our lives. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we don't need mom, we just need you.
Okay. I'll just be everywhere. It's fine.
Fantastic. Well, friends out there, I just wanted to let you know this will be the last time Lauren and I are getting together because Lauren is taking a fantastic job somewhere else.
Yep.
And we are very sad to see her go, but we are super excited that she's going to be doing other fantastically wonderful things for other people. So, um, three cheers. Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah. We have
Thank you.
thoroughly enjoyed all of our time with you, my dear.
Well, thank you. I've really enjoyed it too. This was a lot of fun.
It really has been. Have fun out there. Do good things for lots of other people.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. See ya.